Hello and welcome back to our channel. Many people want to change their lives overnight. They want instant success, instant confidence, instant results. But real success rarely happens that way. The truth is that life changes through small improvements repeated every day. You do not need a huge transformation to become successful. You do not need to be perfect. You simply need to become a little better than you were yesterday. Just 1% better every day. In today's video, we will explore how small daily improvements can create extraordinary results and how consistent action can completely transform your life over time. So stay with me until the end, because this simple idea could change the way you think about success forever. Now let's begin. Lesson 1. The power of small daily improvements. Many people dream about changing their lives. They want more success, more confidence, better health, better habits, more happiness. But there is one problem. Most people think change must be dramatic. They believe success requires a huge breakthrough, a massive transformation, a life-changing moment. Because of this belief, they often become discouraged. They look at successful people and think, I could never do that. The goal is too big. It will take too long. As a result, they never start. The truth is that most successful people did not transform their lives overnight. They improved little by little, day by day, step by step. This is the power of becoming 1% better every day. At first, 1% sounds small, almost insignificant. Many people ignore small improvements because they do not seem exciting. They want immediate results. They want visible progress. They want success right now. But small improvements have a hidden power. They accumulate. Think about planting a seed. On the first day, nothing appears to happen. The second day looks the same. The third day looks the same. For a while, it seems like there is no progress. But beneath the surface, growth is happening. Roots are developing. Strength is building. Eventually, the plant breaks through the ground. The visible result appears after many days of invisible progress. Life often works the same way. Many of your greatest improvements happen quietly. One good decision may not change your life. One workout may not transform your body. One book may not transform your mind. One productive day may not create success. But repeated actions create extraordinary results. This is where many people fail. They underestimate small actions. They think, it is only one workout. It is only 10 minutes of reading. It is only one healthy meal. It is only one day of practice. Because each action seems small, they do not see its value. What they forget is that success is often the result of many small actions combined together. Imagine two people. The first person improves slightly every day. The second person stays exactly the same. At the beginning, the difference is almost impossible to notice. After a week, the difference is still small. After a month, it becomes more visible. After a year, the difference can be enormous. Why? Because small improvements compound over time. Every positive action builds on the previous one. The progress grows. The benefits grow. The results grow. This is one of the most powerful principles in life. Small actions create big outcomes. Think about learning a new skill. No one becomes an expert in a single day. Musicians practice for years. Athletes train for years. Writers improve through years of writing. English speakers become fluent through years of practice. The journey is built one day at a time, one lesson at a time, one improvement at a time. The people who succeed understand this. They do not focus only on the final result. They focus on today's improvement. They ask themselves, what can I do today to become slightly better? This question is powerful because it removes pressure. Many goals feel overwhelming. Losing a large amount of weight feels difficult. Building a successful business feels difficult. Becoming fluent in English feels difficult. But becoming 1% better today, that feels possible. And when something feels possible, action becomes easier. Another important truth is that small improvements build confidence. Many people lack confidence because they focus on how far they still need to go. They look at the gap between where they are and where they want to be. That gap feels discouraging. A better approach is focusing on progress. Look at what you improved today. Look at what you learned today. Look at the effort you made today. Every small win matters. Every step forward matters. Confidence grows when you see yourself making progress, even small progress. Another benefit of daily improvement is momentum. Momentum is powerful. When you make one good decision, it becomes easier to make another good decision. A productive morning often leads to a productive afternoon. A healthy meal often leads to healthier choices later. A study session often leads to more motivation to learn. Positive actions create momentum, and momentum makes growth easier. This is why consistency matters more than perfection. You do not need perfect days. You do not need perfect habits. You do not need perfect performance. You simply need to keep moving forward. One step, one improvement, one day at a time. Remember, most people overestimate what they can achieve in a few days, but they underestimate what they can achieve in a few years. The small actions you take today may seem insignificant, but those actions are shaping your future. They are shaping your habits. They are shaping your character. They're shaping the person you are becoming. So stop waiting for a huge transformation. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop believing that success requires dramatic change. Focus on today's improvement. Focus on becoming a little better than yesterday. Because the secret to extraordinary success is often surprisingly simple. Become 1% better every day. Do that consistently. And over time, those small improvements will create a life that once seemed impossible. That is the true power of small daily improvements. Lesson 2. Stop chasing instant results. One of the biggest reasons people give up on their goals is because they expect results too quickly. They start exercising and expect a completely different body in a few weeks. They start learning English and expect fluency in a month. They start reading books and expect their life to change immediately. When the results do not appear as fast as they hoped, they become disappointed. They lose motivation. They begin to doubt themselves. And many of them quit. The problem is not that they are incapable. The problem is that they are chasing instant results. We live in a world that encourages speed. People want everything immediately. Fast food, fast internet, fast delivery, instant entertainment. Because we are surrounded by speed, we sometimes expect personal growth to work the same way. But meaningful growth follows a different timeline. Real growth takes time. Real growth requires patience. Real growth happens slowly. Think about a tree. A strong tree does not grow overnight. It develops gradually, day after day, month after month, year after year. The growth may seem slow, but that slow growth creates strength. The same principle applies to your goals. Anything valuable usually takes time to build. Strong relationships, great skills, financial success, physical fitness, confidence, knowledge. These things grow through consistent effort, not instant results. Many people focus too much on outcomes and not enough on the process. They ask, "How quickly can I reach my goal?" instead of asking, "How can I improve today?" This mindset creates frustration because outcomes are often slow, but daily improvement is always available. Imagine someone learning English. If they focus only on becoming fluent, they may become discouraged. Fluency feels far away. But if they focus on learning a few new words today, practicing speaking today, and improving slightly today, progress becomes easier to see. The same goal becomes less overwhelming. This is why the idea of becoming 1% better every day is so powerful. It shifts your attention from instant success to daily growth. Another important truth is that progress is often invisible at first. Many people quit because they cannot see immediate results. They assume nothing is happening, but growth often happens beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. Think about building a house. The foundation is built before the beautiful parts appear. The foundation may not look impressive, but without it, the house cannot stand. Life works the same way. Many of your daily efforts are building a foundation. Every workout strengthens your body. Every page you read strengthens your mind. Every practice session strengthens your skills. You may not notice dramatic changes immediately, but the growth is happening. Patience allows that growth to continue. Another reason people chase instant results is comparison. They see successful people and focus only on the outcome. They see the athlete, the entrepreneur, the fluent English speaker, the successful student, but they do not see the years of effort behind the success. They see the result, not the process. This creates unrealistic expectations. Remember, every successful person started as a beginner. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every achievement was once just an idea. Success usually takes much longer than people realize, and that is perfectly normal. Another powerful lesson is to trust the process. Trusting the process means continuing to work even when results are not immediately visible. It means believing that today's effort matters. It means understanding that progress accumulates over time. This mindset creates resilience. Because when challenges appear, you do not panic. You continue moving forward. You continue improving. You continue trusting your actions. Think about saving money. A small amount saved today may not seem significant. A small amount saved tomorrow may not seem significant. But over time, those small amounts grow. The same thing happens with effort. The effort you invest today compounds. The effort you invest tomorrow compounds. Eventually, the results become impossible to ignore. Another important truth is that impatience often leads to quitting. People become excited. They work hard for a short time. Then they become frustrated because success is taking longer than expected. So they stop. The irony is that many people quit right before meaningful progress begins to appear. If they had continued just a little longer, they might have achieved what they wanted. Patience keeps you moving during those difficult periods. Patience reminds you that growth is a journey, not a race, not a competition. A journey. Remember, you do not need instant results to know you are improving. You do not need dramatic changes to know your efforts matter. You simply need to keep taking small steps forward. Keep learning. Keep practicing. Keep improving. Trust the process. Trust your effort. Trust time. Because life rarely changes in a single moment. It changes through small actions repeated consistently. That is why becoming 1% better every day is such a powerful philosophy. You stop chasing overnight success. You stop demanding immediate rewards. You focus on steady growth. And when you focus on steady growth, extraordinary results eventually follow. One day you will look back and realize that the small improvements you once ignored completely changed your life. That is the magic of patience. That is the power of consistency. And that is why you must stop chasing instant results and start believing in the process of daily improvement. Lesson 3. Small habits. Create big changes. When people think about changing their lives, they often focus on big goals. They want to become successful. They want to become healthier. They want to become more confident. They want to learn new skills. These goals are exciting. But many people make one important mistake. They focus so much on the goal that they ignore the habits that create the goal. The truth is simple. Your life is shaped by what you do repeatedly, not by what you do occasionally, not by what you hope for, not by what you plan to do someday. Your daily habits shape your future. This is why small habits are so powerful. At first, a habit may seem insignificant. Reading 10 pages a day seems small. Walking for 20 minutes seems small. Practicing English for 15 minutes seems small. Saving a little money seems small. Because the action feels small, many people underestimate its importance. But habits have a special power. They compound over time. Think about water dripping onto a rock. 1 drop changes nothing. 10 drops change nothing. 100 drops change very little. But after enough time, even water can shape stone. Small actions work in the same way. The results are often invisible in the beginning, but they become powerful when repeated consistently. Imagine 2 people. The first person improves 1 small habit every day. The second person keeps doing the same things they have always done. For a few days, there may be almost no visible difference. For a few weeks, the difference may still seem small. But after several months or several years, the gap becomes enormous. Why? Because habits accumulate. Every positive habit creates momentum. Every positive habit makes the next good decision easier. This is one of the most important lessons in life. Success is rarely built through one giant action. It is usually built through hundreds of small actions. A writer becomes successful by writing regularly. A musician becomes skilled by practicing regularly. A healthy person becomes healthy through daily choices. A fluent English speaker becomes fluent through daily exposure and practice. The results may look impressive from the outside, but those results are usually created by ordinary habits repeated for a long time. Another important truth is that habits shape identity. Every action sends a message to your brain about who you are. When you read every day, you begin seeing yourself as a reader. When you exercise regularly, you begin seeing yourself as a healthy person. When you practice English every day, you begin seeing yourself as someone who is serious about learning. This identity becomes powerful. Because once you believe something about yourself, your actions often follow that belief. Many people try to change their lives by focusing only on motivation. They wait until they feel inspired. They wait until they feel excited. They wait until they feel ready. The problem is that motivation comes and goes. Habits remain. A strong habit allows you to continue even when motivation disappears. Think about brushing your teeth. Most people do not wake up feeling excited to brush their teeth. They do it because it is a habit. It is automatic. The goal is to make positive habits feel just as natural. When good habits become automatic, progress becomes easier. Another reason small habits create big changes is that they reduce resistance. Large goals can feel overwhelming. The idea of reading 50 books feels difficult. The idea of losing a large amount of weight feels difficult. The idea of mastering English feels difficult. But reading 10 pages today feels manageable. Taking a short walk feels manageable. Practicing English for 15 minutes feels manageable. Small actions are easier to start, and starting is often the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum takes over. Another powerful lesson is that bad habits work exactly the same way. Just as good habits create positive results, bad habits create negative results. A little procrastination may not seem serious today. A little laziness may not seem serious today. A little neglect may not seem serious today. But repeated over time, those habits also compound. This is why daily choices matter. Every habit is taking you somewhere. The question is simple. Where is it taking you? Toward growth? Or away from growth? Toward success? Or away from success? Toward the person you want to become? Or away from that person? Another important truth is that consistency matters more than perfection. Many people quit because they miss a day. They make a mistake. They break their routine. Then they assume they have failed. But successful people understand something different. Missing one day is not failure. Giving up is failure. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. Keep coming back. Keep practicing. Keep improving. Remember, You do not need a huge transformation to change your life. You do not need one extraordinary day. You do not need one magical breakthrough. You need better habits, small habits, daily habits, habits that move you forward little by little. Because every great achievement begins with small actions repeated consistently. Every successful person is the result of habits, and every future version of yourself is being created by the habits you practice today. So choose your habits carefully. Protect them. Strengthen them. Stay consistent with them. Because small habits may seem insignificant today, but over time, they have the power to completely transform your life. That is the incredible power of small habits, and why becoming just 1% better every day can lead to extraordinary results. Lesson 4. Focus on progress, not perfection. One of the biggest obstacles to personal growth is perfectionism. Many people believe they must do everything perfectly. They believe every plan must be perfect. Every action must be perfect. Every result must be perfect. Because of this mindset, they put enormous pressure on themselves. And often, that pressure stops them from making progress. The truth is that perfection is impossible. No one is perfect. No one gets everything right. No one succeeds without making mistakes. The people who achieve great things are not perfect people. They are people who keep moving forward despite imperfections. This is why focusing on progress is much more powerful than focusing on perfection. Think about learning a new skill. Whether it is English, music, sports, or business, nobody starts as an expert. Everyone begins as a beginner. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone struggles. Everyone experiences setbacks. The difference is that successful people understand that mistakes are part of growth. They do not expect perfection. They expect improvement. Imagine a child learning to walk. The child falls many times. The child loses balance. The child makes mistakes. But the child does not think, "I am not walking perfectly, so I should quit." The child simply keeps trying. Eventually, walking becomes natural. Life works the same way. Growth comes from repeated effort, not perfect effort. Many people become discouraged because they compare their current situation to their final goal. They look at how far they still need to go. They focus on what they have not achieved. As a result, they feel frustrated. A better approach is to focus on how far you have already come. Look at your progress. Look at your improvements. Look at the lessons you have learned. Even small improvements matter. Remember, the goal is not to become perfect overnight. The goal is to become slightly better than yesterday. This is the heart of the 1% better philosophy. Small progress may not seem exciting, but small progress creates big results over time. Another important truth is that perfection often leads to procrastination. Many people delay action because they are waiting for perfect conditions. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect opportunity, the perfect mood. The problem is that perfect conditions rarely exist. If you wait for perfection, you may wait forever. Progress begins when you take action despite imperfect conditions. Think about a person who wants to start exercising. If they wait for the perfect schedule, they may never begin. But if they start with a short workout today, progress begins immediately. The action may not be perfect, but it is better than doing nothing. This principle applies to every area of life. Action creates progress. Waiting creates stagnation. Another reason progress is more important than perfection is that progress builds confidence. Every small success teaches you something. Every improvement proves that growth is possible. Every step forward strengthens your belief in yourself. Confidence is not built by being perfect. Confidence is built by seeing yourself improve. Imagine learning English. You may not speak perfectly today, but perhaps you know more words than you knew last month. Perhaps you understand conversations better than before. Perhaps you feel more comfortable speaking. Those improvements matter. Celebrate them. They are signs of growth. Many people ignore small victories because they seem insignificant. They think, it is only a small improvement, but small improvements deserve attention. Why? Because they create momentum. Momentum is powerful. When you notice progress, you feel encouraged. When you feel encouraged, you take more action. When you take more action, you create more progress. This cycle helps you continue moving forward. Another powerful lesson is that perfection can create fear. People become afraid of making mistakes, afraid of looking foolish, afraid of failing. As a result, they avoid challenges. They avoid opportunities. They avoid growth. Progress-focused people think differently. They understand that mistakes are part of learning. They understand that failure is a teacher. They understand that every setback contains a lesson. This mindset creates resilience. Because when difficulties appear, they do not quit. They learn. They adapt. They continue. Think about successful athletes. They do not win every competition. Think about successful entrepreneurs. They do not succeed in every project. Think about successful writers. They do not create perfect work every time. What makes them successful is their willingness to keep improving. They focus on progress, not perfection. There is always room to grow. There is always something new to learn. There is always a higher level to reach. If perfection is your goal, you will constantly feel disappointed. If progress is your goal, you will constantly find reasons to keep moving forward. Remember, you do not need to be perfect to improve your life. You do not need perfect habits. You do not need perfect results. You simply need progress. A little progress today. A little progress tomorrow. A little progress every day. That is how meaningful change happens. So stop demanding perfection from yourself. Stop waiting until everything is perfect. Take action. Learn from mistakes. Celebrate small wins. Keep moving forward. Because the goal is not to become perfect. The goal is to become better. And when you focus on becoming just 1% better every day, those small improvements eventually create extraordinary results. That is the true power of focusing on progress instead of perfection. Lesson 5. Consistency beats intensity. Many people believe success comes from doing something extraordinary once in a while. They think they need huge bursts of motivation, massive effort, extreme discipline, long hours of work. While hard work is important, There is something even more powerful: consistency. The truth is that small actions repeated every day usually produce better results than intense effort that happens only occasionally. This is one of the biggest secrets behind long-term success. Consistency beats intensity. Think about exercise. Imagine two people. The first person goes to the gym for 5 hours on one day and then does nothing for the next 2 weeks. The second person exercises for 30 minutes every day. At first, the first person may appear more committed. After all, 5 hours sounds impressive. But over time, the second person will almost always make more progress. Why? Because consistency creates momentum. Consistency creates habits. Consistency creates results. The same principle applies to every area of life: learning English, building a business, reading books, saving money, improving health, developing confidence. Everything grows through consistent effort. Many people become trapped in a cycle of intensity. They feel motivated. They work extremely hard for a few days. They push themselves to the limit. Then they become exhausted. They lose motivation, and they stop completely. A few weeks later, they repeat the cycle. This approach feels productive, but it often creates frustration. Why? Because progress becomes unpredictable. Some days they work very hard. Other days they do nothing. As a result, growth slows down. Consistency creates a different experience. Instead of asking, "How much can I do today?" consistent people often ask, "What can I do every day?" This is a powerful question, because long-term success is not built on what you do occasionally. It is built on what you do repeatedly. Imagine learning English. Studying for 6 hours one day may feel impressive. But if you do not practice again for a week, much of that momentum disappears. Practicing 30 minutes every day is often far more effective. Daily exposure keeps the language active in your mind, and active learning leads to stronger results. Another reason consistency is so powerful is that it removes pressure. When people focus on intensity, they often set unrealistic expectations. They expect themselves to be highly motivated every day. They expect perfect performance. They expect huge results quickly. When reality does not match those expectations, disappointment appears. Consistency is more realistic. It accepts that some days will be better than others. Some days you will feel energetic. Some days you will feel tired. The goal is not perfection. The goal is showing up. Even on difficult days. Even when motivation is low. Even when progress feels slow. Showing up consistently is what creates transformation. Another important truth is that consistency builds trust in yourself. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you strengthen self-respect. You prove that your word matters. You prove that you can depend on yourself. This confidence becomes valuable in every area of life. Think about someone who says, "I will practice every day," then actually practices every day. Over time, they begin trusting themselves more. They know they can follow through. That self-trust becomes a source of strength. Consistency also helps prevent burnout. Many people try to change everything at once. They create huge goals, huge schedules, huge expectations. For a short period, they feel excited. Then the effort becomes overwhelming. Eventually, they quit. Consistent people often take a different approach. They focus on manageable actions, actions they can repeat, actions they can sustain. This makes long-term success much more likely. A small habit that lasts for years is more valuable than an extreme effort that lasts for a week. Another powerful lesson is that consistency compounds. Just like money can grow through compound interest, effort can grow through compound improvement. Every day of practice builds on the previous day. Every positive choice strengthens the next positive choice. Every improvement creates an opportunity for further improvement. The results may seem small at first, but over time, they become extraordinary. This is exactly why the idea of becoming 1% better every day is so effective. You are not trying to change your entire life overnight. You are simply improving a little today, then a little tomorrow, then a little the next day. Those improvements accumulate, and eventually they create remarkable change. Imagine where you could be 1 year from now if you improved just a little every day. Imagine the skills you could develop, the confidence you could build, the goals you could achieve, the person you could become. The possibilities are enormous, but they begin with consistency, not intensity. Remember, you do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be extraordinary every day. You do not need to make huge progress every day. You simply need to keep moving forward. One step, one habit, one improvement, one day at a time. Because success is rarely built through a few intense moments. It is built through consistent effort repeated over and over again. That is why consistency beats intensity. And that is why becoming 1% better every day can completely transform your life. Lesson 6. Become the person you want to be. The idea of becoming 1% better every day is not only about achieving goals. It is about becoming a better person. Many people focus only on results. They focus on money, success, achievements, and recognition. While these things can be important, true growth is about who you become during the journey. Every action you take shapes your character. Every habit shapes your identity. Every decision moves you closer to the person you want to become or farther away from that person. This is why small daily improvements matter so much. When you read every day, you become a learner. When you exercise regularly, you become a healthier person. When you practice discipline, you become more reliable. When you keep your promises, you become someone you can trust. These changes may seem small at first, but over time, they create a completely different version of you. Your future is built by your daily actions. The person you will be next year is being shaped by the choices you make today. That is why every day matters. Not because you need to be perfect, but because every day is an opportunity to improve. A small improvement today may not seem important, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, those improvements can completely transform your life. Remember, success is not about making one huge change. It is about making many small improvements consistently. So stop worrying about becoming perfect. Focus on becoming better. Focus on growing a little each day. Focus on the habits that move you forward. Because if you become just 1% better every day, you will eventually become the person you once dreamed of becoming. And that is one of the most powerful transformations of all. Remember, you do not need a huge transformation to change your life. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to have everything figured out. You simply need to become a little better than you were yesterday. Just 1% better every day. Small improvements may not seem important in the moment, but over time, they create extraordinary results. Keep learning, keep growing, keep showing up, and never underestimate the power of consistent effort. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.